Good evening. My name is Ann Fowler, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I'm here as one representative of the Mutt Run Advocates, the group formed in opposition to the KDOT cost share grant, excuse me, which will change what is now a one-lane gravel road bordering the north side of the Mutt Run into a two-lane paved road. We were stunned when we read the announcement of this grant in the journal World because this project was developed without any input from the people who use the Mutt Run. The city's capital improvement plan for the category of long-term planning clearly states that community input should be gathered and a project should have broad community support. You recently received a letter from our group and a copy of the Save the Mutt Run petition, which had 1,275 signatures at the time it was sent. Both of these express our deep appreciation of the Mutt Run and our justifiable opposition to putting a road through it. I hope you will read through some of the heartfelt comments to see why so many people cherish the Mutt Run as it is. We met with city staff at the Mutt Run about a month ago to communicate our concerns. They seemed surprised there was any opposition, which concerned us because they already were so far along with the project. They told us that a steering committee would be formed to discuss the dog park and the road. We assumed this would include discussion of alternatives. However, last week we learned that the committee will begin meeting only after the city commission approves funding. It appears that completing the road is a given, pending approval, and that no alternatives will be considered. We were stunned again, this time at what appears to be bad faith. We object to the cost share grant's justification for the road because, first, the provision of, quote, much more direct access to the dog park, golf course, and outlet park, end quote, is contraindicated because it would bring more traffic into an area where traffic flow is already of major concern. Next, the existing gravel road could easily be used for emergencies with the installation of remotely controlled gates at both ends. And last, idle wait times, which are of concern to those who use the youth sports complex, are already being addressed by KDOT as a result of an extensive study completed by WSP earlier this year. KDOT has additional recommendations yet to consider. Since the K10 27th Street intersection will not be an issue once the improvements are completed by KDOT, it makes sense to us to see if smaller and much less expensive changes can be made in the interim. Our petition is asking for time to explore these changes. Thanks very much.
Vice Mayor Finkelstein, thank you. And that does remind me, I should have added that they're all written public comments in the agenda, including, as referenced by Ms. Fowler, the letter from her and the petition. I would go ahead and ask staff, do we expect, is there a timeline for when we might expect this in front of the City Commission, or is that the next step?
Can I say something? I'm not a staff, but
Yeah.
I will.
Well, Ms. Fowler, let's wait till we get the answer, then we'll.
Okay.
Thank
you. This is Dave Cronin, city engineer. We anticipate bringing a recommendation to form a steering committee and get authorization to proceed with initiating the project and soliciting RFQ for design to the commission tentatively October the 20th at that meeting.
This is Vice Mayor Finkelstein, and to ask the question, I think Ms. Fowler would want to ask if we decide not to proceed at that point, that would be an option, correct? Not to proceed at all.
Dave Cronin, city engineer, that is correct. You'd have the option not to proceed at all. So that would be a decision for that meeting.
Vice Mayor Finkel, I thank you. Any other questions or comments before moving on?
This is
Commissioner Shipley.
Commissioner Bowley, I think it's important that we move on with, rather than engaging too much on the issue. This is public comment. We refer these things to staff, and we're edified by hearing the comment. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Finkel, that's a fine point. Thank you, Commissioner Bowley. And we do have, it looks like it'll be on a soon to be future agenda item. So that makes sense. And so we know it'll be coming back. Commissioner Shipley had a point.
Vice Mayor, I do have a question, and I think it's important to ask it now. Dave Cronin is aware that he had informed the multimodal transportation that they would be seeing it. And I think at the time that he said that, my impression was that it would be before it got to us, but it doesn't look like that's how it's moving. So I wondered if we could clarify that.
This is Dave Cronin, city engineer. We discussed the project last night very generally as what the where we're at with it, which is we're just starting. We got a grant from KDOT to proceed to fund the project, and it's in the 2021 budget. And so other than that, we haven't presented any design plans to the Multimodal Transportation Commission, and that would be further down the line if we proceed with the project.
Vice Mayor Finkel, I thank you. So Ms. Fowler, we'll probably see you again on October 20th. Thank you for being here. Next on public comment is Adrienne Dunavin, if I said that right.
Yes, I'm Adrienne Dunavin, and I'm actually here as well to speak about the Mutt Run Dog Park. I'm a member of the Mutt Run Advocacy Group, and I have concerns about the 27th Road Expansion Project too, and I was hoping to get that on your radar before you guys meet to discuss the KDOT cost share grant. So the city staff have stated that a primary motivation for this project is to address concerns about safety at the intersection of 27th Street and K10. And the members of my group don't dispute the significance of safety at this intersection. I think we can all agree that that's a dangerous intersection. What we're here to argue is that the 27th Road Expansion Project will not fix the problem. In fact, by increasing traffic through that intersection, the problem might be made worse. And we're also concerned that in an attempt to solve one problem, the city will create others, like negatively impacting the wildlife at Clinton State Park or increasing congestion at other intersections like the one at Clinton Parkway and K10. And lastly, we ask that the city consider whether this project is fiscally responsible. This road will cost a significant amount of money during a time when our community has a growing number of needs. $1.25 million. That's how much the city and state tax money would be spent on expanding this road through the Mutt Run Dog Park to solve a problem that occurs on weekends at specific times of year. But there is good news. KDOT already has a plan to fix the intersection at 27th Street and K10. In an article that was just published a few weeks ago in the Lawrence Journal World on September 22nd, KDOT even specifically identified this intersection as a priority. So before moving forward with the KDOT cost share grant that you were discussing, we ask the city to wait. Before we spend $1 million of taxpayer money and permanently ruin a green space with a 2-lane road, let's see if the concepts that KDOT is working on right now, let's see if they help mitigate the problem. And maybe they won't be perfect. Maybe we'll need to combine these solutions with other low cost, low impact alternatives like staggering the start times of games or a no left turn out of the youth sports complex. Would these sorts of solutions be an inconvenience? Yes. But would they permanently destroy anything? No. And do you know how much taxpayer money would be spent on them? None. So before I end this, I just want to be clear that while we started an online petition that has 1,275 people signed to stop this project, we are in no way against the City of Lawrence Parks and Recreation Department. We think what they do is amazing. And they created the Mutt Run Off-Leash Dog Park, and I'm forever grateful to them because I walk my dog there every day, and I have for 10 years. Rain or shine, I'm out there. So my intention here is just to stop the City of Lawrence from making a big mistake in putting in this road. It'll be expensive. It won't fix the problem that they're trying to solve, and it'll destroy one of the unique gems in our town that makes us unmistakably Lawrence. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Finkel, I thank you, and we'll probably see you as well on the 20th. Thank you.